Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sam B right here with the Tune Up Show. So I'm gonna pick up right where I left off on part one about stopping OnlyFans. And the reason why I'm going in like this is because, you know, it's man, it's the way OnlyFans is set up, man. It's like it's not really normal. I mean, like it's just this this crazed, you know, online thing. I mean, everything that goes on online. I mean, it's a cesspool. You know, it's down to what they're doing and how they're doing it, and I mean, what can you do? You know, it's not there is no morale in this. You know, I mean, yeah, you're gonna make a lot of money, but you lose your soul in the process. You lose every good standard about you. I mean, you kind of don't have any standards. I mean, if you're a type of person that's okay with having sex on camera, on film, look, let's be honest. There's something broken about you. That's just the way it is. That doesn't make you a whole person. There's something very broken inside of you if you're okay with doing that. All right. So I'm going to pick up right where we left off on the video, and yeah, let's just I'm just going to get right into this. I'm not going to play it all because I do have other stuff I want to talk about. But this is man, this. I mean, like I said, yeah, I'm late with this video, but I mean, OnlyFans picking up like it is and still going the way it is. Look, like I said in part one, this is only gonna get worse. Okay, this is only gonna get worse.
But before we get onto that, I need to tell you about something that isn't toxic. Securing your privacy with Atlas VPN. With Go Market.
That's like his advertisements or whatever. So there you go.
OnlyFans was launched in 2016 by 33-year-old Timothy Stokely. But before creating OnlyFans, Stokely was just another unknown businessman. Back in the late 2000s, camgirls were the closest thing you'd get to OnlyFans. And the camgirl market was oversaturated to say the least. So how could Stokely tap into this market? Well, like in all business, he needed to focus on a specific niche. What were other people not doing? Where was there untapped demand? The answer was clear: the financial market. Now bear with me here. The financial is a place where those terms submissive give money and material to the dominant. Stokely's idea was to monetize this after finding a subreddit promoting the stuff. In his research, Stokely observed that people would spend large chunks of their paycheck for these weird economic relationships on sites like Reddit. And so after gaining investments from his relatives, glam worship was launched in 2011, and an economical dominance economy began to blossom. Although glam worship's success wouldn't last long, because in the same year, Twitter and Venmo were gaining popularity across the internet. This would be the final nail in glam worship's coffin. Because through Twitter and other social media sites, consumers would view the content on glam worship and then reach out to performers on platforms like Twitter for their own personal videos, causing glam worship to lose large chunks of revenue. Which is why it didn't take long for Stokely to shut down glam worship. Not long after, he would go on to his next venture, Customs for You. Customs for You was created by Stokely and his father in 2014. The purpose of the site was to serve as a remastered glam worship site, but unlike glam worship, Customs for You made contracts with the camgirls. This was done so that users could directly request made-to-order content with Customs for You acting as the broker. In a way, Customs for You was basically just the beta version of OnlyFans. But before Customs for You was officially launched, adult film stars were reluctant to join the platform. The reason? They could see that over time, Customs for You would lower the bar to entry in the adult entertainment industry. These stars foresaw the site's business model relied on the oversaturation of the adult entertainment market, whilst also seeing that the site preyed on the naivety and vulnerability of young girls wanting to make quick, easy money. And so at the time, the site was rejected and seen as something flat out damaging, because in this time, the world was a different place. People weren't desperate enough for the site. and as a result, Stokely never launched the site. But it wouldn't take long for this to turn around. After Custom for You's failure to launch, Stokely began reading into the prevalence of adult entertainers creating private content for money. Before OnlyFans, adult entertainers would use Instagram to post videos promoting themselves. But with Instagram's need to keep its brand polished, adult entertainment would be cracked down upon. Stokely had struck gold. Why not build a platform that allows these artists to monetize their work in a simple and secure manner? OnlyFans would be similar to a social media network with a feature such as Instagram or Twitter, except that fans would have to pay a monthly subscription to view these artists' content. This was all because Stokely understood that Instagram had done something unique. Instagram gave followers the opportunity to become almost virtual friends with influencers. So Stokely's idea was simple. OnlyFans would be the paid version of Instagram. To access OnlyFans' paid membership feed, you would be charged a monthly fee, with the fee ranging from $5 to $50. OnlyFans then also set up pay-per-view content, where customers would pay up to $50 just for a single piece of content. And if you really want to be a simp, you can pay up to $100 in tips.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I mean, I was going to pause it like a minute or so back, but I just got so caught up with how vague the creator's background was. I mean, it's always like these guys that were just, they're just he was just your average businessman, and then one day he got the grand idea to just help you sell your body online. And look, these creators, these people like creators of Facebook and Instagram and all these. Look, let me tell you something. I have reason to speculate and reason to believe that this guy Stokely, whoever this guy is, he just didn't come out of nowhere. Okay, and most likely, it wouldn't surprise me if he was an actual pimp. Because what guy and his father will make a website with the intentions of, oh, well, this is just for artists to show off their talent? Really? So you had no idea that OnlyFans was going to turn into the juggernaut sex cult that it is now? What most people are uploading to OnlyFans? You mean to tell me that? You had no idea that this could happen? No, I think you had all the idea. That was most likely the main idea. But I don't take that. Like, he was just a regular businessman. I don't believe that. Not for 1 minute.
This model of pimping was revolutionary. It meant everyone from the girl in your class, innocent-looking ethos, to experienced professional adult entertainers, and even furries could all sell their dignity for cash. And to put into perspective how much money is circulating on OnlyFans, let's take a look at one of the first OnlyFans stars, Danny Harwood. When OnlyFans started in 2016, Harwood was one of the first 10 members on the site. Her earnings in the first month were $257. In an attempt to gain more money, she would create these special occasions for her followers, where she'd get men to do things like, quote, order a pizza to her home and she'd answer the door naked. But what quickly became apparent was that these guys weren't watching for this material. What these guys really wanted was for her to act as an online girlfriend, where she'd message her lonely subscribers and learn everything she could about them to squeeze as much of their hard-earned money as possible. She'd feast on their insecurities. You can get for free, she said. Guys don't want to pay for that. They want the opportunity to get to know somebody they've seen in a magazine or on social media. I'm like their online girlfriend.
Rough day, huh? Life seems meaningless.
And that's basically what it's all about. I mean, this is why this is not good, because, like this said, I mean, this is pimping at its best. And when I mean best I mean best as in worse. Okay, not only are the girls on this website being pimped, but the guys, they're the tricks. They're being pimped too. They're being fooled into believing that, they have this connection with this particular chick online. And, sites like this, and I'm pretty sure this is not the only site, but this is the only one of relevance right now, OnlyFans. But very highly insecure men and very weak men, they're antisocial or whatever's happening with them in their mind, or they're incels or whatever. These guys, they're the victims, you know, and a lot of them, they're getting, like the guy said, the site is squeezing their hard-earned cash out of them for fake relationships, and this is sad. This is sad if you really think about it. And guys, if you know men that are doing this, that are giving up their money to these women online, tell them to stop. Because I said this to many, many men, that I talk to about stuff like this. If you want women to start acting like women, then men need to start. Men are going to have to start acting like men as well. Okay, because these sites only exist because you have simps out here that are fueling these websites. So as long as you stop doing it, then none of this would even exist. OnlyFans wouldn't even exist. Nothing would exist. Trust me. 100% positive. If men stop fueling these websites will go away. I guarantee you.
Well, you're correct. Its purpose must be chosen by you. Understand that sadness and pain is a natural part of life.
By acting as an online girlfriend.
You see what I'm saying? Like these women that are tricking these dudes like this, they don't these women they don't love you, man. Like it's all a show. And most guys, see, here's the thing about simps. See, a simp is a man that knows he's being a simp. Most guys that are being simps, they know they're being simps. They just don't want to be exposed and mocked as being a simp. Okay? And I've said there's plenty of videos, all men simp on every level. I mean, if you got a girlfriend or a wife, yeah, you're simping too on a certain level, because you got to cater to her, you got to throw her compliments, you got to do the whole send her gifts, buy her stuff, just to keep her happy, so that way ultimately you can get what you want at the end of the day when y'all both in bed. Okay, so there's levels of simping, but the highest level of simps is what these men are doing. I mean, they're not in a sexual relationship with these girls, but yet for some reason they're giving these women online all their hard-earned cash. And this is why OnlyFans and websites like this are really bad, because there's no real connection, and they're preying on very, very weak men, and this is bad.
And Harwood was able to generate $52,000 in November 2019 alone. And this
Wow.
isn't an anomaly either. In a Vice article, they spoke to creators on OnlyFans. The article highlighted how these atomized men basically beg these e-thoughts and tip them extra just for them to talk longer.
What do we have here? You may kiss my boots.
Wow. I mean, I'm hoping that was like acted out. But these days I can't be sure. But even if it was acted out and it wasn't real, men shouldn't be doing that. Even if that was an act, that was a whole that was theater. But I can believe it though. You look up some of these what's it called, like Comic-Con. Well, the porn industry, they have their own type of Comic-Con, and believe me, I saw a documentary of that, and I couldn't. And look, the way those men are acting, the way those men act, like I said, that scene that we just saw, this guy just on his hands and knees kissing this girl boot. Believe me, that's nothing compared to what these dudes do that follow these porn stars. I mean, I'm telling you, man. Like, if you're a guy and you want a real relationship with a real woman, with real connection and real physical connection, you have to stop being a simp and go out there and actually talk to women. Because not all women are like this. These are just the extremes, and OnlyFans is the extreme.
And with the money this is generating, you're now starting to see all these other soulless, self-indulgent celebrities joining in on the fun. For example, the Hollywood actress Bella Thorne made over $1 million just a day after making her OnlyFans account. And of course, Cardi B would go on to release promotional material for her WAP song on her OnlyFans page. Which is why in 2020, OnlyFans reported that it made $1.2 billion. OnlyFans also reported that the company gained a 42% increase in new accounts, crowning Stokely as the king of homemade adult entertainment.
Or just the pimp, king pimp. And guess what, ladies? If you're on OnlyFans, guess what? He's your pimp. You know how much money he made? He made, what was it? How much money did he make?
Which is why in 2020, OnlyFans reported that it made $1.2 billion.
$1.2 billion off of you showing your ass. Now, yeah, you made maybe 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand. But this guy right here, this dude right here, Stokely, yo, that man made $1.2 billion off of you. And but see, a lot of you females don't even see it that way. A lot of you females, you just look at it and you say, well, I got my bag. I got my red bottoms. I got this. I got that. No, we know what you don't got. You don't got your soul. Because you're allowed to get pimped out. And look, I'm not coming down on anybody. I'm just calling what it is. If you're on websites like this, and this is what you're doing it for money, then you are exactly what you are. There's no if, and, or buts about it. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help men out here and women, whoever wants to help, to get out of stuff like this. To actually go out there and have real relationships with real people. This stuff only leads to the grave. It doesn't get any. It gets very look. It's only this kind of stuff only going to get worse.
OnlyFans wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the pandemic, the loneliness pandemic. In the last 10 years, we've seen our society become increasingly atomized. In the past decade, homelessness among young men has skyrocketed, with 28% of men aged 18 to 30 reporting no sexual contact within the past 12 months. That's a disaster. So how did this happen?
Yeah, that's a damn shame. That's I mean, by any standards, that's bad. I think, the ultimate goal here is to get a wife, be a husband, be a father to kids with your wife. That's, to me, that should be the ultimate goal here. But if that doesn't happen, men are men. Men, they have this will and drive to want to be with women. And so when you have a society that's ran by pretty much psychopaths that don't care for you to be together, they do everything they can to separate you from the men and women, and they use women's insecurities against themselves to the point where, hey, we're going to make you feel like that you're not even going to want to be with the average guy. Or and while they're making the women feel like that against men, they're making men feel like they're inadequate to the average woman, and that they have to go above and beyond just to get a hug or a kiss. Okay? This is the inverse. This is what's happening in society right now. And yeah, this it's chock full of loneliness, but
Well, let's take a look at the typical life of so many young men. Today's young men start their life with a family that isn't connected to their community or religion. Most young men come home from school to hear their parents argue. Most men are raised in school by a joyless crone who shouts at them, who yells at their innate boyish behavior. Young men then see that those who sit quietly and act feminine are rewarded by the teacher. In school, the boy is unable to access any deep connection with the people around him. Often in conversations, people feel like they have nothing interesting to say, and they don't feel like anybody else does either. You go to bed for peace, for relief, and as soon as the alarm goes, you feel the chaos rushing back. The dread, the stress, the hopelessness. In school, most of your interactions will be very surface level, simply because there is no shared struggle or shared accomplishment. We are made to always be working against each other in the same artificially lighted room, doing the same tasks silently on our separated desks. There is no affection for you or others. How could there be, when your peers don't know you and you don't know them? Added into the mix is the introduction of social media into a generation completely uneducated of the dangers of internet addiction. In our most formative years, we become addicted to social media. We look for the next dopamine hit. We dampen the pleasure and satisfaction of real achievement before we're even 18. Increasingly, we are dampening our brain's ability to achieve homeostasis. We've become infantilized by the deluge of anodyne content that saturates our mind, keeping us in permanent adolescence.
And that was a grown ass man too, by the way, acting like that over some doggone video games. But you know, I'm gonna that's wow, and that's just what society is breeding right now. They're breeding a bunch of boys that aren't being cheered on by society. They're actually being looked down on. And meanwhile, you know, they're cheering on the women to just go to college, go this, go that. And so when you have a society that's cheering on women to stay away from men and just do them, but if you need a sexual release, then you can just go to any guy that you want to get that sexual release. But you still need to concentrate on you. Now, when you have a society that's pushing this message all around the board through Hollywood, through social engineering, social media platforms, when you have that message being pushed like that, and you're making one gender feel inadequate and the other gender feel superior, well, nobody wins. That's the whole point. The whole point is the people that run this society, that declare themselves, you know, our gods, our lawmakers or whatever, these people, they have to keep society, the mass majority of people, to a point of just just in a bad spot. Okay, they have to keep us emotionally and mentally damaged. You know, that's why they're always pumping out movies and TV shows that you watching these characters lose their mind and, oh, I love this woman or I love this guy, and it's all BS because they're not really dealing with real pain or real hurt. Okay, there's a lot of lonely men out here and there's a lot of lonely women out here. And the reason why you're lonely is because you keep following this detrimental playbook that society has put before you. Stop following that playbook. That playbook is no good because it's only going to keep you like these people. All right, I don't know what that's all about, but I'm just going to keep going. But you get the gist, right? I can actually stop this right here. If you want to watch more of that, it's the all you gotta do is just look it up. I mean, it's the evil economics of OnlyFans. For some reason, it only has a little over 500,000 views, and it's been up since last year. So you can tell that this is a message that they are very much trying to hide. Like they don't want this message out at all. But I just want to bring this up to people who are for OnlyFans and whatever. And like I said, it's an old case. It was back in August of 2021. But it made news. It went this particular story went viral, and I remember, and this what kind of got me on the track of trying to figure out what this OnlyFans thing was all about. So here's an article of it. Okay, it's from the Daily Mail. OnlyFans model killer spent 2 days in her apartment scrawling rambling confessions on the walls and her lipstick before stabbing himself in the neck when her father kicked down the door. Now, this guy, everybody know Janae Gagnier. She was known online as Miss Mercedes Moore. She lived in Houston, Texas, and long story short, she was OnlyFans. Okay, she had her own place, whatever, blah blah blah, and the man. Okay, here's the thing. They said Miss Mercedes Moore was found strangled on Sunday by her father, Mark, in her Houston, Texas apartment. She was lying at the bottom of the stairs, strangled, and her father thinks she'd been dead since that Saturday. Upstairs, Florida man Kevin Alexander Ocordo was lying in a pool of blood. He stabbed himself in the neck when he heard Mark kicking the door in. Janae's family think he'd been in the home writing on the walls for 2 days. He wrote, "I should have stayed in Florida. I wish I never loved her and I was used." Her father said he was constantly worried about her obsessed and crazy followers. She had 2 million Instagram followers, but also ran accounts on OnlyFans, and her father says worked in private clubs. Police still do not know how Cordo found her address in Houston, Texas. Well, here's the thing. And this is for people who think that all these sites are so safe and, well, my account is private. It's all private. Well, guess what? And I asked this before. How can you have a private online account on a publicly traded website domain? How is that possible? Okay. Of course, you're not going to know how he got it, how he was able to obtain the address. I mean, these days you can find out anything you want on anybody. I mean, all you got to do is you can do reverse lookups online. Those types of computer applications, they're a dime a dozen, man. You could download. I could download one right now for like $100, $50. Okay, and see, that's what happens. And this is them. This is her. This is the guy that killed her, and he scribbled. He wrote on her apartment. I was used for money. Yes, you were used for money, and it's a shame because he was used. As a man, he allowed himself to fall for a woman and become the ultimate simp for this woman. He allowed himself, and that's why he killed himself, because he couldn't bear to live like the ultimate simp. He was the ultimate simp. And when this story broke, okay, a lot of people, they were like saying, "Oh, that's not good, and don't blame OnlyFans, and people got free will to do whatever they want to do," and which is very true. Very, very true. But see, when does it stop? Now, did she have to die? No, she didn't have to die. Is it her fault that this Mark guy busted her crib and killed her and left her for dead? Yes, it's his fault. He allowed himself to be a simp, an ultimate simp for a woman that he doesn't even know. Just because she's doing what she's doing online and he's paying. Look, if you're paying for that service and you allow yourself to get entranced by that other person on the other side of that screen, hey man, that's what happens. This stuff, it warps your mind. He probably really thought that he was in a relationship with her, or at least she made him think that. But see, you got a lot of women out here, they practice the art of seduction. Okay? The art of seduction is a man, it's a powerful it's powerful witchcraft. And a lot of very, very attractive looking women who know that they're attractive and they got a real nice body, they practice it. There's tons of YouTube tutorials that are teaching women how to be seductive. Okay? How to finesse men out their money. And guys, you need to be paying attention to this, or you're going to wind up just like Mark. Okay? And that's what it is. Guys need to pay attention and know how not to fall for this stuff, and don't even get caught up in it. Just leave it alone. Because I guarantee you, if men stop contributing to these online websites, then women like Mercedes Moore, they don't have to die because they're not being whatever it is they're doing online isn't being fueled anymore. They're not receiving any more contributions. So then they'll have no choice but to go back to being good women, being wives, being mothers. Men, you can stop this at any time. All you gotta do is stop being simps. Because see, as long as society keeps these websites open and running, and women are able to monetize their bodies and their looks online, they're going to do it. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to stop, especially if there's men out there like the guy Mark. I'm sorry, Kevin Accordo. All right, but that's all I really want to say about it. I mean, there's pretty much nothing else to say more. I mean, this kind of behavior leads to the grave. 2 lives were taken. You know, the guy took his own life and he took the life of the girl, and all because, you know, she was probably really good at what she was doing. The art of seduction. You know, and the ladies, you know, hey, it can happen to you. There's many stories out there. And of course, they don't like to put them out there because, of course, it'll hurt their platform. But there's many stories out there where women, they're being stalked and people are finding them. Okay, their followers or whatever. I don't see how people need to have 2 million people watching you. Why do you have to have thousands, tens of hundreds of thousands of people watching you? You don't get paranoid? I mean, why do you have so many people following you? I mean, it's one thing if, you know, you actually have like an actual business, or you're actually doing like a show, like an actual show, like you're doing your thing. But just for you to be showing your butt and showing your boobs, and you got millions of followers looking at you, what's to say those men don't want to take it a step further and say, well, you know what, I'm gonna find out where this girl live. Clickety clack. I mean, come on, man. Like, let's be real about this. Okay, there's so many women now are being stalked and you know, and murdered for this stuff. Okay, a lot of men that are on these websites, you know, they're already not playing with a full deck of cards. They're not playing. They're already doing this with half a brain anyway. So I really wish people just wake up, man, and really look at what's going on. Stop trying to make it look like what it's not, and just concentrate on what it is. And this OnlyFans, these Instagram models, all this stuff. Look, man, this stuff doesn't lead anywhere nice. It doesn't lead anywhere good. There's no positivity in this. Okay? And if you're able to escape unscathed physically, then I'm pretty sure your mind is not all there either. But that's the show. That's the part 2 conclusion of it. Hey, if you don't agree with me, if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, leave it in the comments. Hit me up, whatever. Let's talk about it. That's the show, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.